Pokedoku, yay!
Pokedoku time.
Welcome back to Pokedoku.
Yeah, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Lai the Rebel. Y'all saw the intro, man, and the intro is right. Pokedoku drafted my team. Yeah, Unpl Academy. We in the Kid Akami division. Indigo Disc, bro. Y'all already know the vibes, man. Abominable Darmanitans, bringing the PDD powered. Man, listen. I have a serious agenda in the PDD, so we doing this Pokedoku challenge for y'all, man. Like, it's just a kickback. Unpl Academy is just a kickback, relax kind of thing. And let me play some Mons, man. Look, and plus, you know, Danny's been dying to get me here. And apparently, like, I was so important, so like people from main division went down just to play me. Okay, like I didn't know I was that popular in the community. So here we are. Yeah, it's a time to be alive for Draft League. It really is. We starting the new year off proper. 2024, man. Pokedoku, for those who don't know, is a puzzle game, a puzzle grid game to be exact. Based off of the Immaculate Grid, the Infinite Grid for NFL, MLB, NBA, right? So it's that, but with Pokemon. And I do the puzzles every week or every day, for almost every day for the most part. But I was doing them, and as I'm doing them, I'm like, there's really no purpose in doing these puzzles. It's just to kill some time, really. Why not have the grid, draft my team? So I made a rules page. It's for myself. Yeah, I know it's weird, but hear me out. So rule 1, most obvious one, I must complete the entire puzzle. Pretty straightforward, because I'm a Pokemon player. What is adulting? I have so much Pokemon knowledge. I should be able to complete every single square, right? Rule number 2, whatever square I pick, that's the mon I choose after completing the puzzle. It's going on the team. So if I get Chien-Pao, like if I magically remember Chien-Pao, boom, I get Chien-Pao on my team, if it's available. But then once I use a square, I cannot use that square again. So if Chien-Pao was middle right, the middle right square is gone for the rest of the draft. I gotta select 9 different Pokemon using 9 different squares, and then whatever remaining points I have left over will fill out my roster. I believe it's 10 to 12 Mons. I'm not sure if it's 9 to 11. It's either one of those two, 9 to 11 Mons, or 10 to 12. Either way, if I have remaining points, I'll use those on my own, just to finish the draft. On the right side, you see, again, this is Indigo Disc. So when I was recording, doing all the puzzles and everything, they did not have the new Pokemon. So if for whatever reason for example, if Gouging Fire would fit in a square, if I can't use Gouging Fire, if I magically remember Turtonator, then I'll get Gouging Fire, right? So that's the one, like, it's like an asterisk to all the other rules, right? Basically, I only recorded the first square just to show how I did it, because just to show proof that, like, I'm not looking at the doc when I do these things, because looking at the doc before or during, the whole Pokedoku puzzle thing would be considered like metagaming, because you're like, okay, I know this mon isn't taken, so I'll just put it here in the puzzle. No, I'm doing this all like from memory, right? So let's without further ado, I will show the first puzzle, and then all the other puzzles will follow.
So originally the website, I found it through NFLgrid.org, and because I do these grids, whenever I'm bored and things like that, and then they just added this new Pokemon tab here on the top right corner. So I'm gonna go ahead and click it for you really quickly, and here we have a board. They just added unique score and everything. It didn't have that before. So it now calcs the percentages of rarity and all that fun stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and complete this board. Remember, I'm second overall, so I need to think of the most broken things for these squares right here. Water Fairy, I just drafted Prim somewhere. So I'm gonna go and put a Zoomeril in this spot here. Fairy Mythical. So Fairy Mythical, I think it's just Diancie, if I'm not mistaken. I'll just pick regular. I don't think I'm gonna take Diancie second overall anytime soon. Baby Fairy, oh dang, there's a whole column of baby Pokemon, so we're not gonna be using those, but we have Cleffa. At least. Water Grass, that would be Ogre Pond Wellspring, because the other option would be Ludicolo, if I remember correctly. Grass Mythical, Zarude is the newest one. Could go with Shaman. I don't think they allowed Shaman Sky, so that's a thing. Grass Baby type, I'm gonna go with Budew. Water Monotype, oh, Palafin. I'm gonna go with the Hero form. I think that's what we're gonna go with here. Monotype Mythical, I could go Darkrai. I don't think Darkrai's legal, but like I really think Palafin's more versatile in draft. So I think I'm probably gonna take Palafin, to be honest. And then Monotype Baby, we'll go with Elekid. For here. I think I'm gonna go with Palafin Hero and take the bottom left square. I think that's gonna be the play. We'll let somebody else have Darkrai. Again, what it comes down to is just with Palafin's more versatile. I'll probably explain that in the slideshow somewhere.
So as y'all saw, Palafin was the pick that I chose at second overall. Yes, I was the second overall pick in the draft. So, you know, pretty much all the other picks were basically wheels. So at second overall, I picked Palafin. Going into this challenge, I knew that, you know, the board maybe, or the grid, whatever, may not be forgiving. So the reasoning behind picking Palafin over Darkrai is, like, I had previous use of it in PWC, so I know, like, you know, how to build around this thing. I know what teammates it needs. So, you know, hopefully the grid will, you know, give me proper teammates to pair with Palafin, because Palafin, once you switch out and come back in its hero form, it's a 160 base attack Mon with Jet Punch, which is a signature move for Palafin, which is a stronger Aqua Jet. +1 priority, 60 base power. It is absolutely filthy. An absolutely filthy move to click, right? So Palafin actually is only 100 base speed regardless of whether it's in a baby form or hero form. However, I'll get teammates that are faster than that, hopefully, right? Because 100 speed used to be really fast, but now it's Generation 9, so it's actually considered pretty slow. But the Jet Punch priority kind of offsets that for the most part. So, Palafin also has a reasonable special attacking stat and strong special attacking moves ranging from Boom Burst to Draining Kiss. So it can actually run special sets. I was just unable to run special sets in PWC, but we made it to semifinals for PWC just running physical attacks. So, you know, hopefully we can make it to finals with this thing. I'd be very disappointed if we don't even make playoffs with Palafin. I'll be very angry at myself. I know I'm trying to have fun here, but you know, winning is fun. So, winning is fun to me. I don't know about you guys, but winning is fun to me. Okay, just let it be. Just let it be. Square number 2 is going to be middle left because I ended up going Rotom Wash. Heliolisk, is not in Paldea right now. Toxtricity Amp would be a reach at round 2, so round 2 Pokemon really came down to either Rotom Wash or Empoleon. And I picked Rotom Wash because, again, I wanted to break the number one thing you gotta have when you draft Palafin. Get things to break down bulky waters. In semifinals, I lost to Fire Master Trucker 6-0 twice. And it was because I couldn't break Slowbro. I couldn't break Salamence. So breaking down bulky waters is easy with Rotom Wash. Base 86 speed, so I'll get slow Volt Switch into Palafin. Also has access to Thunderbolt Discharge, obviously. I don't really need it to click Hydro Pump like that because I have a whole Palafin. So why would I need to click Hydro Pump when I can just click Jet Punch or Wave Crash or Flip Turn, you know? Defog Rotom is not a thing, unfortunately, but in the Indigo Disc, it got Pain Split back. So any form of recovery outside of Arrest is a plus in my book. So Rotom Wash is round number 2 and on the team, and middle left square is gone. Round 3, I had to, this was one of only 3 times that I opened the dock. So I had to check to make sure before I used Darkrai Square, I had to check it was not taken. Turns out, the first wheel ended up being, the first true wheel, ended up being Ogerpon, Hearthflame, and Sneasler, which meant Darkrai was available. And I don't know how, but we have it. It's 2 points cheaper than Palafin, actually. So Palafin, I believe, was a 20-pointer, and this was an 18-pointer. This is a broken mon in my eyes because it's never been legal in any gen prior. Even in Nat decks, it wasn't legal until like the Dutch came in and tried to sabotage that one tier list. And I might need to bother them for because freaking in addition to the 124 speed, it also has access to Swords Dance coming off of a 100 base attack. So it's not necessarily a Dark Pulse bot. Like I said, I need to ask my Dutch people, you know, what are some good Swords Dance sets that you guys have? Because the Dutch people that got first overall pick when Darkrai was legal in Gen 8 Nat decks, they were running Swords Dance on their Darkrai's over plot some matchups, and I'm not gonna lie, I might need to use that. Who knows? But having speed over 110 is super nice. I thought this hit 110 exactly. Turns out it hit 124 base. So Darkrai, great pickup round 3. No way I'm ever gonna get a round 3 Darkrai ever again. But then the next wheel, after a long wait, the quality kind of went down the drain. I'm not gonna lie. Well, not all the way down, but I mean, when you look at this, so when you look at this grid, obviously Ogerpon Cornerstone would be sick, but couldn't use that square. So the only other realistic option that I was looking at when I completed this was probably Teal. It was probably Ogerpon Teal, but like I felt like the fairy typing was more important simply because the fairy typing is the least is the smallest population in the whole entire Pokedex. Like in the entire national Pokedex, fairy is the least common typing. So if there was a chance that I could pick up a fairy, I gotta pull the trigger now, right? Pheasantipity is you know, the idea behind Pheasantipity plus Toxic Chain is like it gets access to beat up, so like you can like lead off with it, click beat up, and then like one of those 5 beat up hits could potentially get a toxic chain, which is actually better than a regular like sludge bomb poison, because if you get poisoned by sludge bomb, it's only a 12% consistent chip damage, right? Whereas if you get a toxic train trigger, it badly poisons the target, meaning the damage will multiply in multiples of 6, 12, 18, so on. So that's really solid. If Pheasantipity can pull it off. It also has 127 base speed F for some reason. So it can be a really good AV user, but it also gets access to Roost. So I'm not sure if I want to run AV all the time. But Pheasantipity is it's actually a mon that, you know, I've been wanting to draft, not for real, just, you know, because I have the ETA group chat. So the ETA group chat is Mike Haley, who was at the time of Teal Mass drop, he wanted to be Monkey Dory. So shout out Monk Haley. Okidogi, as you can see on the grid here, Okidogi was claimed by Radioactive Mayo. He literally went Okidogi round 2 after getting the Alscarada in ETA. So it just left me with Pheasantipity to pick up in the PFP group chat. So yeah, Fez is now a team member for the Abominable Darmanitans. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? This next grid was just straight awful for me. And what I mean by that is I really wanted Delphos here. But it got taken, apparently. And that's when I had to open the dock again. And turns out it was 6 points. I thought it was going to be like an 8-pointer, maybe a 9-pointer. No, it's 6 points. And I was just like, is it like Teraband or something? No, it's not Teraband. So of course that mon would be gone by this time. So I was just like, okay, let me just get Chestnut then, replace it really quickly. Nope, Chestnut is in the Darkrai square, and I forgot, so had to take that pick back. So I went with Diancie because Shaman Sky is illegal. I was not sure if Ogerpon Wellspring was taken at that point. And then I didn't want Tropius. It's a Ranbat's legend, don't get me wrong, but Diancie at 10 points can Terra. So I got, you know, Fairy for stab, and then I have Water and Fire. They both resist Steel. So defensively, Water is here to resist Steel, and then offensively, Fire is here to resist Steel. And when I say offensively, you know, Mystical Fire is no longer an option. It's no longer a button to click for Diancie, unfortunately, but Terra Blast Fire fixes that easily. It's 150 defense and speed F, which is great. 50 base speed is pretty slow nowadays, but it gets Rock Polish, and after a Rock Polish, it can outpace a lot of things, surprisingly. So, Terra Diancie sounds like a lot of fun. A lot of people tell me it's a great Terra captain. From the few that I've talked to that use this thing, really good. Can't wait to try it. Can't wait to try it. But I do have a double fairy thing going on here. So going into the next wheel, I was looking at some steel types, and fortunately we got one. And in Probopass. Now, yes, I wanted to go Bisharp here, right? I could have went Bisharp here, but then I didn't want to double the dark typing. Oh, but you could be like, you know, Terra Fairy or Terra Fly and make it King Gambit. No. I wanted to save my points, and so Probopass allowed me to get a steel type. It turns out that Probopass was 4 points, which was great, you know, for budget wise. So that's why I picked it. Not sure. I think Bisharp was also like a 10, maybe a 9. So I saved 5 points up for picking up Probopass. Like, look at the brows, man. He's just floating. You know what I mean? Like, It has two very good abilities in Sturdy and Magnet Pull. Sturdy allows me to, live any hit from full health. It's a built-in focus sash, and then I can just, while holding a Custat Berry, I get 2 free turns instead of 1. And then Magnet Pull traps other steel types, and then I can just, body press them, for example, right? It's in the same, like, it's literally another rock type just like Diancie now that I think about it. Good gracious, Eli, what are you doing? Gosh, I did not think that through. Hindsight sucks, but you know what? We ball. What was I gonna say? It has it's also has mixed defense capabilities just like Diancie, which is cool. So now I have a secondary fairy resist that isn't Pheasantipity, which is cool. Let's go on to the next pick. Oh yeah, that's right. I got another steel type. Oh, so now I have 2 fairies, 2 rocks, 2 steels. You love to see it. You love to see it. Nah, but Cobalion actually fills a speed gap for me, which was super, super huge. I had a speed gap of Palafin and Darkrai. So 24 and 106 is in the middle of those 2 numbers. So Cobalion fills a speed tier. It fills a speed gap, to be exact. I have rocks. So my Spiker is Diancie. I think the Browse gets spikes as well. But anyways, I got 3 rockers in a row. And Cobalion completes the trifecta. I also get fast Volt Switch, as Rotom Wash is going to be more like slow Volt Switch, to be quite honest. It lost Magnet Rise, which is unfortunate. I know it lost other things, but the most important one, in my opinion, was Magnet Rise. I know it's under the usually useless moves section, but Magnet Rise was really good to, 1v1 ground types that weren't packing coverage, really. So it sucks that Cobalion doesn't get that anymore. But again, I needed to fill the speed. I needed to fill a speed gap, and Cobalion does that. Offensively, this typing of steel and fighting is great. Defensively, it can't really switch into fairy that well. But I have Pheasantipity for Moonblast, and then I have Probopass for Play Rough. So we're fine on the fairy switching end, right? But then I was looking at all of the picks that I made, and I was just like, oh, here we go again. Eli, drafting without hazard control once again. So I was really praying, like, man, like, when it gets back to me, because look at how many squares I have left. I only have 2 squares left. One of them needs to, clear hazards. And thankfully, my brain had brain cells, because I got Brambleghast. And the joke, and I know, like, I call it Bramble Ass every now and then, but the truth of the matter is, it's because it's not ass. It's actually a really good Pokemon. You know what I call Brambleghast? Fast Delmise. That's right, Fast Delmise. Delmise is like 42, 43 base speed. This is base 90 speed. It can rapid spin. It can spin block. And it has better recovery, in my opinion. I'm not saying Synthesis is bad, it's just weather depending. But Strength Sap is based off of the Mon's physical attack, and there's a lot of physical threats in this meta, so being able to Strength Sap and get back to full pretty much is really, really nice. Again, 90 base speed gets me rapid spin. It actually gets me spikes, which is sick. And then I previously drafted Brambleghast in PDL, and I had to tear it because it didn't have reliable stab ghost moves outside of Shadow Sneak. But it got Poltergeist now via, from the Teal Mass days. So I'm excited to use Poltergeist Brambleghast, which means that I'm no longer going to be, forcing this thing to Terra. I could have terred this. I could have terred Probopass, but you're gonna see a crazy pick later on. But first, let me show y'all the last square, and then we'll get into what I use for the leftover points, okay? So I had the top left square left, and the typing that I got was Dragonfly. Now, at first I wanted Noivern, but again, I was very paranoid that, like, I didn't want to have to look at the doc and be like, oh, dang, somebody took Noivern. Well, you have to skip me, right? So I had to be very careful about who I was going to pick here, right? I had to think about, like, what's it called? I had to think about dragon types that nobody, like, picks up, right? So my first thought was, okay, maybe I get Noivern here, right? But then I was, like, too scared that it would get picked up at this point, because this is round 9. Obviously, as you can see, all the other squares, I can't use the other squares. So this is round 9. Then I was just like, KJ used D-Knight PDD Season 1. I'll pick that and hope for the best. And I just saw it sitting in 15 points. It wasn't crossed off. And yeah, I was just dancing just like Charizard was when I saw D-Knight tree. So yeah, D-Knight is it can't defog, right? I get that. But multi-scale is super good ability, okay? Because you essentially, get a free turn to set up and win. And that's really cool. In my book, right? Being a Gen 1 Pokemon, it has a lot of coverage, actually. It can hit both physically and specially. So, and that's probably why I went with D-Knight, for the most part, because I wanted okay, Noivern, I know people are gonna say, oh, but Noivern can't hit physically. It can. I've ran Banded Iron Tail for a Diancie game, okay? Leave me alone. But D-Knight just does the role better, and yes, I forgot Salamence existed, but I think D-Knight's gonna end up, doing some crazy work. Obviously it can't Terra, but I will reveal the other Terra captain later. But D-Knight just, it's been around since Generation 1, and it's still holding up to this day, which is really cool to see, and I'm excited to use it. I'm excited to try this thing. I had, after D-Knight for 15, I had 6 remaining points. So I opened the dock, made sure that D-Knight was available, and then I went into the 6-point tier. I was like, what is the best 6-pointer that I could grab right now? And I was so hyped when I got this Pokemon at 6 points. This Pokemon in its debut generation, fraud. Absolute fraud. My boy, the Odd Keystone, back in the day, used to say, man, Sandaconda is the Ben Simmons of ground types. And now, it can Terra. A Terra Sandaconda, buy your bitch a Louis back, yo! Do I need to explain why we need to buy these hoes a Louis bag, man? Come on now. Look, you see the drip, man. If you buy your bitch a Louis bag, bro, it's a wrap. You can wipe her up. Look at Sandaconda cuff T-Swift on the right side, bro. Dang, man. This is the Louis bag effect, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, we have a ground type, which stops Volt Switch, right? We have fairy typing, right? I could have went with water, but I have 2 elite waters in Palafin, Rotom, Wash. Looked at my fairy types, they were pretty mid, right? So I went with fairy as the second typing. And then the third typing, dragon. Why? Scale shot. So the idea is to coil, scale shot, profit. Man, buy your bitch a Louis bag, man. I'm so excited to use this one, bro. Buy your bitch a Louis bag, man. Yo! Listen. I'm super excited to use this team that, Pokedoku gave me. Pokedoku gave me 90% of this team. Plus a Louis bag was just chilling there. Come on, man. We gonna make a crazy run. We gonna make a crazy run in Kitakami. All I gotta say, bro. All I gotta say, bro. But listen, man. It's been fun talking with y'all, man. But it's been your boy Live the Rebel. I'll catch you guys, man. Peace. Hey, you made it. Thank you so much for watching today's draft analysis. If you like this kind of content, you'll really like my PDD content over on the left. And on the right is what I really drafted for UNPL. It's been your boy Eli the Rebel. I'll catch you guys next week, man. Peace.